Welcome to Yacht Crew Vlogs, where we tell the stories of those in the yachting industry. A behind-the-scenes look that discovers the individuals in the industry, their history, their passions, and what inspires them to do what they do. Hi, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Yacht Crew Vlogs right here on Yachting International Radio. My name is Ria. I am your host, and I'm very pleased to welcome my next guest, Hugo. He is the co-owner of Superyacht Sunday School. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Superyacht Sunday School. What is it?
Superyacht Sunday School is a company that aims at taking regular people, like many crew, like myself at the beginning, with little to no boating experience, maybe a little hospitality experience, and turning them into professional yacht crew by basically walking them step by step on the entire recruitment, application, and job learning aspect. And we do this just by, like I said, giving that one-on-one type of service and walking them through it so they don't waste any of their time or money looking online, looking at resources that might have dubious information, or just overall being confused about it. We eliminate any of the guesswork and just make it pretty seamless and foolproof.
Well, a lot of schools, or a lot of those people that are out there saying that they're for the young crew coming into the industry, they tend to want to push extra courses that aren't necessarily needed. Is that something that you can help them navigate through so that they don't get caught in that trap?
That's exactly true. A lot of the schools do push maybe like a one-size-fits-all solution just because it's easier to scale or it's easier to reach one-to-many in that way. And that's kind of exactly the reason that inspired us to want to do this, because we, at the beginning of the whole onboarding process, we through a series of questionnaires and one-on-one interviews, we try to figure out what is it that you're trying to do in the industry. Some people are only here for a year. Some people are only here to make some quick money before leaving. Some people do want to become captains, head chefs, chief stewards, and we tailor what we're suggesting based on that. If you're not even thinking about being captain, then I don't have any reason to just start telling you to take all these basic skipper courses, because it's not going to be actually useful for what you're doing. Same if I know you just want to work on a 30 meter that's heading down to Bahamas and back and it's US flag, then you don't actually need your ENG1 because you're American and you're not a licensed employee at that time. So I'm going to cater what you're doing or what you need based on what you're asking me for. I'm not going to tell everyone to go get their personal security reason if they're going to be on a small boat that doesn't require that. If you're not actually going to be on a large boat as a female stew, maybe that's going to be dealing with food, then let's not do food and hygiene for now. And also just tiering it. So let's see what we need right now to get maybe that first day working job or just to start, and what we can push off for maybe a few months or until you get on your first boat, etc. once you've got some cash influx. So that's just some of the examples of what we try to do. But yeah, we really want to make it so people don't think they need to come into yachting with $5,000 plus, and it's all about getting a ton of courses under your belt. Because at the end of the day, we all know that no matter how many certifications you have, if certain other things aren't in place, if your resume doesn't look good, if you're not approachable, if you don't even know what you expect, then it's kind of a waste of time, right?
Once they have worked with you and you've gotten them to the stage where they are legal to go on the boat, do you help them afterwards?
Yeah, so nowadays, a lot of people are going through the funnel, let's say, of taking all these courses or trying to become yacht crew. And we both offer continued support after, through like if they have questions, we have like WhatsApp groups and Facebook groups that we keep them in so they can keep asking questions, and also so they can kind of feed off of each other, because one person that's already gone through is in the group, and then they can ask questions and kind of feed off each other, because a lot of times people come for information, but it's really great to have community support, because that's what people kind of stick around for. So we have a lot of people that are asking us if we have crew for certain positions. So we're trying to bridge that gap and help link some of the people that have gone through with us with jobs afterwards, just because we're still kind of within the industry and we're still working. But we're also helping people to join, telling them which Facebook groups you need to join. We have a handbook that has all of the recruitment companies, their phone numbers, their locations, their addresses, and kind of little excerpts about each one to suggest, okay, if you're going to the Med, these are the 10 that you probably want to talk to most. Or, oh, you're in Fort Lauderdale, or, oh, you're American. Okay, while you're there, these are the ones that you want to be talking to. So we are enlightening the after course and pre-job situation as well, telling them where to apply, what job, what websites. We're doing those on how to make your profile on these recruitment websites. And we are creating more and more resources on that end too. The whole point of this is to get your job. It's not just to, I don't know, learn what SCCW is, learn how boats work, and then just keep that information at home. If you don't actualize it, then what we're doing is pointless. So one of the main things we want to make sure is pointing people in the right direction, because again, there's people that are doing some of their courses and they still don't know what the hubs are. Unless you have a very loud and talkative group in these SCCW groups, not everyone is connecting. Not everyone knows where they need to go afterwards. Not everyone's staying. And even when I did my SCCW, there's people that weren't in crew houses. They were just at some B&B, right? They'd flown in from Virginia, whatever, and they were planning to go right out. And that's where talking to someone that has been in the industry and go, no, I highly suggest you go through this route. You're going to meet people, word of mouth. This is what you need to do once you have that certificate. This is where you can find boats. This is how dock walking works. All of those things that we kind of take for granted, that we think, oh, everyone will figure it out, or, oh, isn't it common sense? No, there's nothing that's common sense about the whole industry.
Where do you find most crew are coming from nowadays?
There's the prevalence of the Anglosphere in yachting, and there always will be. It's in English first, and it's in American media, it's on television. So there is always going to be that pull from those countries. But I have noticed, and I am seeing a lot more diversity in terms of race and color, which is great. That's changing. But I have been seeing a lot more people that maybe in the past, I'm not sure if the financial resources from their home countries were there. And I don't know if it's because travel is also getting more affordable for people, that there is a growing amount of people from other nations, like we're saying, whether it's the Caribbean, whether it's Asia, whether it's also European countries that I wasn't seeing before, right? I've worked with a lot of people from Poland now. I've seen Ukrainian crew. So there are a lot of crew from Central and Eastern Europe that are getting into it. So it's nice. It is becoming more of a worldwide industry within the cruise sphere too. It's not just the boats that are sailing around to these countries now, but we're actually using locals too, which is really nice.
Now, there seems to be an issue with crew in the industry right now. There's definitely a lack. So we seem to see that there's not a lot of crew retention, and the numbers that are trying to get in aren't as great as they used to be in the past. Why do you think that is?
One thing I've noticed is that a lot of boats are starting to realize now that in order to keep crew full time and keep this from being just, let's say, a summer job, or when the ski lifts are closed, people coming in, you've got to give people more of a work-life balance. If we don't give crew more time off, like rotation, and for those that don't know, that's working time for time, whether that's work 2 months off, 2 months on, 2 months off, or maybe another split, like 3 months on, at least 1 month off. It ends up being like 3 months off the year. But that's the kind of thing that's starting to get more prevalent, especially when you're getting commercial people coming in. A lot of engineers moving off of cargo ships coming here, and they're used to time for time. So I think that's probably one of the biggest factors that's determining a lot of crew feeling like they can do this long term, because it's true. I mean, as much as we love living on the sea, you need that balance to be able to go back home, see family, or just establish your business, your life, your home outside of this. So I think especially with COVID, that was a really interesting thing, because that was probably the first time where everyone started transitioning to work from home, and they stopped having to commute. And we never commuted. We've always waking up and I'm already on deck ready to go. But seeing that everyone else got that flexibility, they got a lot more freedom, and we were all pretty aware of it, because that was when we were kind of working more heavily on some of these boats. So I think that has driven a wedge for sure. And people are starting to realize, well, for me to stay here long term, what do I need? And I think we're having a shift for that, but that's what people are kind of questioning right now. Crew is saying, what do I need to be able to do this longer, rather than just like an extended sabbatical or an extended backpacking trip, right?
How do people get a hold of you if they're interested in your services?
So right now I've got the website, so superyachtssundayschool.com. We're on socials, so we're on TikTok, search at Superyacht Sunday School, Instagram, the normal 21st century ways of getting a hold of someone, I suppose.
Hugo, I want to say thank you ever so much for your time.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.
We will make sure to provide all of the information and links below this interview when it airs. You've been listening to Hugo. He is the co-owner of Superyacht Sunday School, based out of Fort Lauderdale, but available worldwide in the 21st century. My name is Ria. I have been your host. We'll see you again next time.